Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we have the FXS260 Ibus 2 servo from Flysky. I'm going to take you through a few different ways to use it and set it up for the NB4 and show you a few of the unique features that the Ibus 2 servos have got. Some of the stuff's quite interesting on it as well, and we'll see how quick this thing is and how smooth it responds. So let's bring in for a close-up look. So here we go. I'm going to start with a fully reset model memory, so let's just clear that just in case we've got anything weird set up. Channel number definition. First off, I'm going to show you how to use it on a non-enhanced receiver. So this will be the FGR4, the FGR4S, 4P. Not sure if I've missed any, but basically any that aren't the new enhanced ones with the enhanced ports or the new ports. So just to show if this servo will work or not with a standard receiver. So first thing we're going to need to do, set it to 4-channel. Then we can come out. We can go into RX set, bind, classic. So let's start the bind process.
Binding successful.
So once we've got that bound, we'll leave as servo frequencies as stock to start with.
Signal lost.
So let's connect this to
Signal lost.
as normal steering. Let's see if we can get this to operate as an ordinary steering servo. So yep, it will operate fully functioning as a normal steering servo. And if we go into as options, so we'll check servo frequency. We'll go to custom. So our maximum frequency we've got is 400 Hz using a classic receiver, and no chattering, works perfectly well. Getting nice quick response as soon as I move the wheel. So yep, as a standard servo on a classic receiver, you can still use this as an option, but that's not really where this servo comes into its own. So let's back out.
Signal lost.
And we'll reset as model memory again. So this is the FGR12B. This could also be the FTR12B, 8B, 4B, or the INR4GYB. All those receivers have the programmable new ports on them. So first thing we're going to do, let's set this to 8-channel. Why not? We've got them. Then we need to go into RX set. We'll go into enhanced.
Binding.
And we'll tell it to bind. So let's get this receiver bound up.
Binding successful.
So once we've got this bound, you can connect it to your normal steering port, and we can use it as a normal PWM servo. So that's working absolutely fine, really responsive. Because we're on an enhanced receiver, we can set every channel separate. So if we go into steering, you can see we've got a whole bunch of different options for servo sort of speed now. So if we go on to custom, as maximum is 400. We can set it to SR, which is at 8, but it's not going to function on that. It's not going to function at 1000. It will function as a normal PWM servo, at least up to 400 Hz. I believe it'll go all the way up to 5. Or we can use the synchronize with RF as an option on this servo, and it will work fine with that. So we'll leave it set as that. And you've got a fully functioning servo, same as anything else. You can set your endpoints and everything on the normal servo page. But that's not really where this comes into its own. So if we power the receiver off, we connect it to new port A,
Signal lost.
and then we power back up. Then we need to drop into a settings, go into as RX, go into the interface, set new port A to Ibus 2. Once you do that, you need to power cycle your receiver, or else you'll have a servo twitching everywhere as it switches modes. So, once we've got this connected and you've power cycled your receiver, so it allows it to switch into Ibus 2 mode, you'll know it's not if it's twitching. We can then go into our Ibus 2 settings. You will see new port A is detected as the FXS260 3080. So we can go into here. We've got as data screen. So as I'm moving this, you can see the reported angle of the servo. You can also see the speed the servo head's moving. So it'll tell you how many degrees a second. You can see the voltage that the servo is actually seeing. You can see the current draw. So if I put load on it, you can see the current will go up as the servo starts fighting to stay straight. And you've also got the operating temperature of the servo, which is all quite nice. Then at the bottom, we can choose what channel this is actually operating as. So you've got your steering, your throttle, and then channels 1 to 8. Then we can go into servo setup. So you can set your neutral point. So if you look, it's slightly offline with this servo horn, and it will move at 0.1 of a degree at a time. If you press it and hold it, it'll jump a bit, so it looks like it's twitching. But you can actually move it at 0.1 of a degree. So it is really accurate, just to get your servo arms completely centered. You've got your lower end point. So let's have a look what happens. So you can turn that up and down as a percentage. So your lower end point will be when it's going to minus figure. Your upper end point, if we change it to that. So you can move 10% at a time to set your end points, and you can go all the way up to 130. Servo reverse. So if you want to reverse it, and then you can have it running the opposite way. You've got your dead zone, you've got soft start, you've got thermal protection that you can turn on and off. You can also reduce the power of the servo all the way down to 30% if it's too strong for you. Not really sure what the boost does. Still feels quite strong at that. And it's certainly quick. But if we turn it up to 100, Not really sure. It is a lightning fast servo.
Please confirm.
You can reset them all to stock. Now, because it's working as an Ibus 2 sensor as well, we can go into choose display. So if we go to as actual sensor panel, or wait at bottom, and then you can see what you can read off: the angle, speed, voltage, current and temperature. So if we have one set on angle, and then you can have your voltage, so we can have current, and temperature. So basically, reading on your screen, you can keep an eye on what your servo's doing, if it really interests you that much. But it is a very, very smooth servo. I also quite like the way that you can operate it on an enhanced receiver as an Ibus 2. If for whatever reason you want to use it with a classic receiver and you just like the specs of the servo, it worked quite happily as a PWM servo as well. And I believe PWM it's operating up to 500 Hz, and then Ibus 2 it'll operate up to 1000. But the slightest little input, it's there straight away. Plenty of speed on it. And it's nice that you get telemetry back. So, there we have it, the FXS260. It's quite a nice servo, and quite impressed with it. But, let's wrap this one up. So, there you have it, the FXS260 Ibus 2 servo. Quite interesting. Really like the way that they've got the black cable, but they actually have the easy to read legend on the plug, and it's an incredibly smooth, quite quiet servo, and quite nice that you can actually change the settings off the controller, and the amount of data you get back from it, especially the sort of ampage that's being drawn, the voltage it's running off. It's definitely a lot easier to know exactly what's going on with your servo, and I'm guessing quite a few of the other manufacturers are going to go this way. You've got a lot more feedback from your servo, you can tell what's happening with it, and it just makes it a bit more configurable. But hopefully we'll see more of this Ibus 2 technology coming through. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.